Welcome back to Real Gun Adventures. This is just a quick update video. I'm on the way out, so I thought I'd just quickly get the old stock out and run through the alterations I had to make, and let you know that I've got two more videos. One is on mixing up stock oil, which could be interesting, could be useful, and the other one will be changing some of the seals on this particular gun here, the QB78. Anyway, straight into it. So welcome back to Real Gun Adventures. As promised in my previous video, I do have a second stock, and I thought I'd just go through quickly what I had to do to make my QB78 drop into the Parker Hale Walnut Stock. Now this one it's the same but with a bit of checkering, and I decided not to go with checkering for the QB. So inside there's a nice big cutout there with a slot, and that's for your trigger block. The rebate there for the cylinder, it's actually larger than the QB78 cylinder, but that's not a problem. There's a stock fix in there which I didn't use, and on the underside you can see the cutout there, room for the bolts, and again up there that's the Parker Hale fixing which we didn't use. So the gun this was made for doesn't have a trigger block as such. The trigger just drops through the slot, probably with its safety as well, and then on the bottom here fixes a trigger guard. So that was too narrow. Now all I did to make that wider was to use one of these, which is just a common or garden wood rasp. It's quite a new one, so it's pretty sharp, and it's got a file edge on both sides. So I flip the stock over, and working from the outside in, being careful to take the same off each side, made that a wider slot. Then offered up the action and did that until it was close to dropping through. Then just switched to some, I think it was 80 grit sandpaper to start with, then right down to 240, just to leave me with a reasonably smooth surface. Had to take a little bit out of here as well, use the file side of the rasp, and the same at this end. Again, I use the file side of the rasp just to open that up. Once the action would drop in, I could then see where the stock screw would be. I just marked that with a Sharpie and drilled through from this side using a 4mm pilot drill. Then over here, once I had my pilot hole, I used a 19mm flat bit to countersink the hole, and obviously my pilot hole centered that quite nicely. And then I went through the whole thing with an 8mm drill bit, which gave me a little bit of rattle and run room. The 19mm bit was a little bit tight, so I just got it down on some sandpaper and opened it up. So it was pretty much all I had to do woodwork wise. I've also had my chisel out, which is used to smooth off some of the edges. Use it as a plane in effect. Now what I did find was, because this rebate is a little bit on the big side, I actually cut some of this black foam, and once it was cut to size I glued it in, which lined it very nicely, took up the space, and of course it's a recoilless gun, so I don't have to worry too much about whether it touches everywhere that it should. So let's have a quick look at the finished one. So you can see my new stock hole. There's my action. Trigger block passing through, and looking down on top, the black foam covers any gaps and gives it a really nice finish. So that's all it took. It's as simple as that. So there you go. That's all you have to do to fit your QB78 or whichever gun you choose to add to a stock. The stocks of the Parker Hale Dragon Mark 1, I think. Get those from Protek supplies in Bognor, Regis. You can buy those online. You can buy two of those for 50 quid. Unfinished, never been used, ready to go. I mean, what can you get for £25 in the realms of an Italian walnut stock? And that's why there's a relatively inexpensive QB78 in what would be an expensive walnut stock. Anyway, that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.